You're watching Taste of Victory.
Welcome back, everybody, and today we got a MetalGarurumon X deck profile for you guys. So like many decks in this Booster Set 9 format, MetalGarurumon is focusing on being an OTK deck. However, it also has some pretty reliable removal in Bounce, which is Blue's traditional removal of choice. While digivolving up to your MetalGarurumon, you have a lot of removal opportunities to help you clear board as well as clear your opponent's security. So let's go ahead and get into the deck profile. I do have 3 cards proxied while I'm waiting for that to come in the mail, since I was just barely not able to finish it at pre-release, so bear with me on those. First up, let's start with our eggs. We are running 4 Tsunomon. So Tsunomon has your turn, while this Digimon has Garurumon or Omnimon in its name, gain plus 1000 DP as its inheritable. This is fantastic since you're typically going to be swinging at the level 5 level, which don't have the highest DP traditionally. So this helps you boost up and live your swings before you have to go into your Mega. You do have battle protection that we will get to in a second with Garurumon X Antibody, but if you can save those for when you really need them, it's really fantastic to be able to live extra checks because Tsunomon's big TP boost. We are only running 4 copies and not a 5th egg because the only other really good generic plus 1000 DP egg is the Digimon from the All Force Digimon starter deck. However, he requires 8 or more in hand, which is not a hard condition to meet at all, but you want to be swinging a little early to be able to put pressure and check with your opponent. And typically the swings you do will get you to that 8th card in hand, like the promo Garurumon. So, you don't want to have to wait to see 8000 just for the DP boost. You want to make sure you always have this live so you can get that DP boost whenever, as long as you have Garurumon in its name and not have to worry about being set up for it. So that's why I personally like staying with 4. And now with Jet Sophie limited to 1, Yellow Hybrids is probably going to go down in usability, so you don't really need the grind game 5th egg draw anyways. And shout out to Glasses Brigade, who provided these sleeves for free with an order of their dice. Definitely check them out, they're super cute. After that, we start our rookie lineup, starting first up with the Garurumon from Booster Set 5. This Garurumon is 3 to play, 2000 DP on play, reveal 1 card from the top of your deck, add 1 Digimon card with Garurumon in its name, and 1 Digimon card with Omnimon in its name among them to your hand. Place the remaining cards at the bottom of your deck in any order. So this is a fantastic searcher that gets you a lot of targets because you have all of your Garurumons and you have your couple of Blitz Omens you're going to be running in there. So if you have to hard slam to pass turn, this is a really good opportunity to get some extra piece that you are missing. So that's why we're maxing it out at 4. After that, for our next rookie, we have 4 of the starter deck Gabumon. So this one is also fantastic for the same reason Tsunomon is, which is plus 1000 DP boost. Your turn, while you have 8 or more cards in hand, this Digimon gets plus 1000 DP. So this does have that condition I was mentioning that Digimon has, which is the reason we don't run it. However, it's fine, I believe, on Gabumon because you're not then doubling up on eggs where you're waiting for both of them to be active. Your Garurumon will be active or your Tsunomon will be active while you're waiting for your Gabumon to be online. So you don't want to stock up on multiple of this effect, in my opinion, with the 5th Digimon egg. But as long as you have this guy here, I think it's fine because you have other DP boosts to rely on while this one gets set up. 4 just because it's really nice, and also this one has the advantage of being all turns as opposed to your turn, which the Digimon egg is. So I think that's really important to be able to make your opponent swing into some awkward scenarios. So it's really fantastic. And that is Gabumon X Antibody as our first big notable new card. So on your left, you may notice a new cool graphic that I am using to highlight new key cards introduced for decks in Booster Set 9. And let me know how you guys feel about that going forward for deck profiles. So you can see what the effect does there. But yeah, Gabumon X Antibody is basically on play or when digivolving, look at the top 3 cards of your deck and add 1 card with Garurumon or Omnimon in its name and the X Antibody option. So keep in mind that is specifically referring to the option card titled X Antibody. That does not mean a card with it in its traits. So do be careful of that when searching. But this is really fantastic because this could plus you 2 cards if you reveal a Garurumon or an Omnimon plus the option. So that is really important to be able to get your 8 cards in hand for the effects that need that. So that's a really great searcher because it has multiple targets to hit. Will be very likely to grab something at the very least, and you could digivolve it over your Gabumon, so you don't even need to worry about playing the full 3. Sometimes it can be a free searcher, and for that we are running it at 4. There's also a synergy that we're going to see coming up with the Garurumon X Antibody, where if you have 2 cards of the same level in sources, you could discard them to protect yourself from battle. So this over one of your other Gabumons does count for that. Keep that in mind, it's going to be really important. That is going to take care of it for our rookies, and after that we're moving up to our champions. So here we have Garurumon. This is the one from Booster Set 5. Keep in mind, he does have a main effect. I forget this so much because he digivolves in Raising most of the time, but if you do have to come out, it is useful. He is 5 to play, 2 to digivolve around 5000 DP, and then when digivolving, if this Digimon has Gabumon in his Digivolution cards, gain 1 memory. Inheritable, while this Digimon has Garurumon or Omnimon in its name, it gets plus 1000 DP. So that's just another easy to hit DP boost of Inheritable, and then also being able to possibly climb faster because of its main effect. But mainly you want Garurumons for its name to be able to Digivolve over, to have the X Antibody Digivolve over it, and this is a really good one to beef up your level 5s when they swing, which is why we're running 4. After that, we have 3 of the promo Garurumon. So you could definitely play around with this ratio, which one you want to run more of, the BT5 or the BT, or rather the promo. But personally, I found in my testing that it's really nice to have the DP boost maxed out, just so in case you don't see the rookie or something like that, you still have another DP boost to add on to it. Garurumon is a promo, unfortunately, so it's going to be a little bit pricey, but he has one attacking. If the Digimon has Garurumon in its name, trigger draw 1 inheritable. And the reason this is so good is because you are able to easily, without any condition, just trigger that draw 1. All you need to have is Garurumon in name. Your entire top end has Garurumon except for the Omnimon, which is usually going to be used as a finisher. You're not going to use Omnimon to draw. So as long as this card is in stack, you are always going to get a draw off of this, which helps you for your 8 or more cards in hand effects and to help you draw for pieces that you may be missing. Then we have the 4 of Garurumon X Antibody. So this card digivolves for 2 from a level 3, 0 from Garurumon, 6000 TP, and then alters inheritable. When the Digimon has Garurumon or Omnimon in its name and would be deleted in battle, you may trash 2 cards of the same level in this Digimon's sources to prevent that deletion. So this card is amazing because of the protection it offers. It gives you a pseudo jamming in blue when we don't have it otherwise in Garurumon. So this helps you live for your OTK strategy checks. So this helps you live for your OTKs because yes, swinging for level 5 is pretty scary, but this guy gives you battle protection, which is usually what you're going to need, and then you can just play a delicate plan to patch up any fears you have of security from options. The fact that he works with Omnimon is absolutely incredible because sometimes you will be forced into a grind game where you kind of just have to go into Omnimon to pressure their security, but now they can't answer it because it still keeps the protection from Garurumon X Antibody. So this card is amazing and non-negotiable at 4 because you want to be able to see it and have that protection for your level 5 swinging. Speaking of our level 5s, let's go ahead and get into those. We got 4 of the promo Weregarurumon. So this one is 3 to Digivolve over level 4, 6000 DP, which is admittedly pretty low. When attacking once per turn, if the Digimon has a Garurumon Digivolution card, unsuspend this Digimon. So you can notice the different wording too, because it's one of the first cards ever printed for the game. It's pretty funny. But yeah, easy to make condition. You will always have a Garurumon unless for some reason you went into the X Antibody by itself. So keep in mind, this says Garurumon specifically. This does not say a name containing Garurumon. So you can't have only X Antibody in your stack or it won't unsuspend. So do be mindful of that when you are going for game with this guy. Then he has the Inheritable. Your turn, while you have 8 or more cards in hand, this Digimon gains security attack +1. So both of these effects are pretty easy for this deck to meet because the main effect is just, you know, have a Garurumon in sources. Its Inheritable is amazing, which is mainly what helps you contribute to the OTK strategy because you swing once, unsuspend. Hopefully you have the X Antibody option in your hand, so you put it underneath this Weregarurumon, swing, use the X Antibody option effect to Digivolve into a Weregarurumon X, unsuspend, and then you have 2 checks off of that one and another 2 checks for 5 total. Then you could go into MetalGarurumon X for your game. So that's kind of the OTK strategy. It mainly hinges on this little guy here because he gives you a security attack +1, which is really important for your Weregarurumon promo. And he unsuspends himself at least once with an easy to meet condition. So non-negotiable 4 of. Then we have 4 of the Weregarurumon X. I'm unfortunately proxying 2 for this profile since I didn't get them in time in pre-release, but they're on their way in the mail. So Weregarurumon X is 8000 DP, 3 to Digivolve into, 0 from Weregarurumon, and its effect is when Digivolving, unsuspend this Digimon. So that doesn't have any name specifics, so it's really good to just be able to go and get an extra swing off of that. But then, if Weregarurumon or X Antibody is in this Digimon's Digivolution sources, return one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon to its owner's hand. This is great because that effect lets you bounce blockers, it lets you bounce memory blockers, it helps you clear your opponent's board so they don't OTK you next turn as well. So Weregarurumon X does a lot for this deck to help facilitate the strategy because as I said earlier, one of the main things you do is have security attack +1, swing, unsuspend, and you get an extra 2 checks with this guy with the boost. If you have X Antibody option, this easily becomes 5 checks just with these 2 cards. So it's a really powerful strategy that is not too hard to get going at all. Then we move on to our megas, which you may be surprised to find out we won't be going into too often. Your OTK really will usually just be the Weregarurumon and Garurumon X, and then this MetalGarurumon just comes in as your finisher. So we are running 3 of the MetalGarurumon X. So its effect reads 4 Digivolve from a level 5, 1 from MetalGarurumon, 12,000 DP when Digivolving, unsuspend this Digimon, and it gains blocker until the end of your opponent's next turn. And then it also has the effect, your turn, once per turn, when this Digimon becomes unsuspended, if MetalGarurumon or X Antibody is in its sources, return all of your opponent's lowest level Digimon. So again, something like Rookie Rush, that will return everything if they are the same low level, so that's pretty amazing. But usually you're just using this to clear your opponent's big stack that they had on the field. Because typically what will happen is like where Garurumon X Antibody will bounce to level 4, something else will bounce to level 3, and then this guy, once all the other weenies are bounced, you bounce their big stack they were investing in with MetalGarurumon X. So typically you use this like people use Blitz Omnimon in past formats. This isn't really the main goal you're trying to get into. What you want to prioritize when playing this deck is going into Weregarurumon, getting that security attack plus effect live, and then going into Weregarurumon X for the remaining checks to put them at 0, and then you kind of hope you have enough memory and use the MetalGarurumon X as a pseudo Blitz Omnimon to swing for that last game with its unsuspend effect. And if you can't because it's passing turn, the bounce effect is usually powerful enough to buy you an extra turn, plus being a blocker. So this usually seals the game when it does come out anyways, unless you're playing against a really good grind deck that has a lot of blockers and ways to answer your MetalGarurumon. 3 I think is a good amount because this is a finisher that does let you win the game, so you want to be able to see it. 4 is a little cloggy, so you don't want to see it too early, and I think it's a good amount. The only other level 6 we are running is the classic X1 MetalGarurumon. This guy is 4 to Digivolve into, 12,000 DP, but he has the when Digivolving effect, gain 1 memory for every 4 cards in your hand. With how much draw we do in this deck, I have very often had 12 cards in hand and have been able to go into this guy for 1 memory, which paired with MetalGarurumon X being able to Digivolve over him for 1 memory is really important because often you'll be at 2 memory if you don't have your Tamer out, and that is just enough to go into these guys for game. I am even very tempted to put this guy at 2 copies. It's just the space in this list is so tight. So if you can find space in your list, absolutely, I would consider running 2 of this because the ability to go into this for only 1 cost potentially and not pass turn for a MetalGarurumon X plates that win the game is so huge. He also has another effect where you can bottom deck something that has an on deletion effect if you have 8 or more cards in your hand and a Tamer in play, but that's really ridiculously specific and it almost never come up. I mean, maybe if purple ever gets popular when this deck is still seeing play, maybe that'll come up, but it's so niche. You don't care about that at all. You just want its win Digivolving effect to quickly go into MetalGarurumon X. Our level 7 is 2 of Blitz Omni. Blitz Omni is 4 to Digivolve into from a level 6, 14,000 DP. When Digivolving, Blitz, and then when Digivolving as well, unsuspend this Digimon. It also has protection. All turns, if an opponent's effect would delete this Digimon or return it to its owner's hand or deck, you may prevent it from leaving play by trashing a level 6 card in this card's Digivolution cards. So this stacks with the X Antibody Garurumon. So you have battle protection there, you have deletion and bounce protection here, as long as it's not to security, so that is a problem with Mostemon. But other than that, because they have Chaos Degrade option, which returns to their security, to your security rather. So this just becomes really insane to out once you have it on the field, but typically you're not going to be worrying about that. It's nice to have in the grind game, but you're mainly just going to Digivolve into this when there are 0 security and swing for game. So 2 is a really good amount, and you could even justify putting this to 1. I think if I had to cut anything, I would maybe put this down to 1 to be able to run 2 of MetalGarurumon from X1, but like you want to see it because it will come into play for a game eventually. I have tested this deck very thoroughly, and typically you are using MetalGarurumon X as like kind of like Blitz Omni, you know, kind of like this is your Blitz Omni that you're going into for game. So I think maybe putting this to 1 and putting this guy up to 2 may work out better, but I personally just like having the chance to see it in case this gets stuck in security, which is why it's at 2 for me. For our options, we have 3 memory boosts. So this reveals the top 4 cards of your deck for 3 memory, and then you get to grab 1 blue Digimon card. And then later, you can delay it, which means you just trash it from your field to gain 2 memory. Its security effect just puts it into play without actually activating its effect. And the holographic effect is simply amazing, I just gotta say while looking at this. This is really great because not only does this get you 2 memory later for your big plays, it also searches the top 4 cards of your deck, which is a really deep dig to be able to get your pieces. Because this is a piece reliant deck, the only thing you're really worried about bottom decking off of this is a Delicate Plan or Omnimon. So I think the odds of that happening are fairly low. You're more likely to see your pieces that you want. So this is really great early game to get that those pieces you were missing, and then delay it later to make sure they don't choke you for your Weregarurumon plays. You could absolutely run Hammer Spark as well. I think it's up to your personal preference whether you want to search for the consistency or the explosiveness that Hammer Sparks offers, and paired with the X Antibody option in your security, that could potentially give you another turn by activating security. So, there's something to mention for Hammer Spark as well. Definitely viable. Then we have the new option to introduce in BT9. This is X Antibody. X Antibody is 0 to play. You can ignore its color requirements if you have a Digimon in the field, which is always, might as well have made it a rainbow card at that point. Security, gain 1 memory, and then add this card to your owner's hand. So it's kind of like a mini Hammer Spark. Main, play this card under one of your Digimon without X Antibody in its Digivolution cards at its bottom Digivolution card. So again, with that wording, be careful there. That means the option itself. It's referring to itself specifically. So basically what this means is if the stack already has this option in its sources, you can't put a second one in there. That's all that means. So do be careful, watch out for that with triggering effects and stuff like that. It also has the inheritables. All turns, effects can't trash X Antibody in this Digimon's Digivolution cards, and then when attacking, this Digimon can Digivolve into a Digimon card with X Antibody in its traits in your hand for its Digivolution cost. So it's kind of like a pseudo blitz to help you Digivolve into the next level Weregarurumon for your OTK strategy. So this is really important because this one card turns 4 checks into 5 checks. And if you have another rookie out, or if you have MetalGarurumon X, that then becomes lethal if you have enough memory. So this is really important. I have played around with this at every number. 4 is way too cloggy. You really don't need 4 because you draw so much. 2 is a bit too little. Like, you can draw into it, but I would rather have the reliability of 3 to make sure you see it with all your draws. And then if it's in security, that really does help you a lot because then you get an extra memory to mess up their play calculations or even pass turn. This card has won me games in security before. It's hilarious. We have the one of a Delicate Plan. A Delicate Plan is only 1 memory, and then one of your Digimon gains the effect. Don't activate your opponent's security option effects for the turn, and then security effect adds it to your hand. Only 1 because you draw so much, but I do think you can absolutely make the argument for 2 copies just to make sure this doesn't get stuck at the bottom of your deck or the last card in security. I think if you feel more comfortable with 2, absolutely that is a viable option. I would maybe cut a blitz only for it, but yeah, I like it at 1 just because we draw so much. The matchups where you see it, or rather the matchups where you need it, are rather slower, so you are able to have time to dig for the pieces. And with how much digging we have, unless you get really bad luck, I think you'll eventually get to see it. So I think 1's good, but you could justify 2. And the tamer we're going to be running to be able to activate them are actually 2 Hiros and 1 Sora and Matt. So Hiro is an amazingly generic tamer. He is a memory tamer which guarantees you 3 at the start of your turn, 4 to play, and then your turn, when you attack with a Digimon that has Gabumon in its name or level 5 or higher, you may suspend this tamer to have one of your Digimon get plus 2000 DP for the turn. So that is really good to help your Weregarurumon promo live when swinging in case you only have 1 DP boosting effect in your security for whatever reason. So that is a really nice generic effect there. And then it guarantees you your 3 memory, so you don't have to worry about meeting condition to get your memory, unlike Sora Joe. This is our 3rd tamer because I do like having 3 sources for the red to make sure we have it for ADP. And this is also just a really good generic tamer as well. It is 4 to play. Start of your main phase. If you have 8 or more cards in hand, gain 1 memory. If your opponent has 8 or more cards in hand, gain 1 memory. So with how easy it is to draw in this deck, you will very often have that. And with how many Digimon Digivolve for free because of their X Antibody trait, your opponent will be drawing and cycling a lot. So they're very likely to have 8 cards in hand too. So it's pretty easy to meet condition. Then it has the your turn effect. When one of your blue or red Digimon becomes unsuspended, you may suspend this tamer to return one of your opponent's level 3 Digimon to its owner's hand. So this is really great for removing memory blockers like Gabumon in the All-Star matchup. This is really easy for us to meet because promo Weregarurumon on suspends, Weregarurumon X on suspends, Melga on suspends. Like, it's very easy to meet this condition. And then it's really nice because this pairs well with Hiro. If you have the guaranteed 3, this will put you to potentially 4 to 5. So they sync very well together. I like both of them. I have played around with just 3 of this and none of Hiro. I ended up not really liking it because I don't ever find a time where it feels good to drop this. When playing Sora Matt, you never want to drop this early because you won't get the effect. You won't gain the memory if you drop it too early, since you need 8 or more in hand. But by the time you are in the late game, BT9 is such a fast format, I feel like you lose way too much momentum playing this card out in the late game. Even mid game, I feel like you're giving up too much field presence to your opponent by playing this card out. So I never really did like it at 3. There is an argument you can absolutely max out on 3 on this if you prefer, because having multiple of this is better than having multiple of Hiro, because sure, you get giant DP boosting if you have multiple Hiro out, but you get so much more memory with multiple Matt and Soras. So there really is an argument to max out on whichever you prefer, and it's up to you guys testing it out to see what you really like. Personally, I ended up liking this ratio a lot. And finally, to round out our list, we are running 3 Cool Boys because this card is absolutely ridiculous. It is only two to play. Then it has on player, reveal the top 3 cards to your deck, add 1 Digimon card with the X Antibody in its traits, and 1 option card with the X Antibody in its traits among them to your hand. Place the remaining at the bottom of your deck in any order. Your turn, when one of your Digimon digivolves into a same level Digimon with X Antibody in its traits, you may suspend this tamer to gain 1 memory and draw 1. For only 2, this card does way too much because it's simply incredible. You get to search your deck, potentially +1 off of it if you grab 2 cards with it, and then you get to draw 1 and gain 1 memory when digivolving into an X Antibody Digimon at the same level, which are typically free to digivolve into anyway, so that makes you plus off of them now. This card enables so much OTK by giving you enough memory to go into the guy you need to unsuspend. It adds so much consistency. It is incredible. If you're really tight for space for another tech option you want to run, you could maybe cut it down to 2 copies, but I really like 3 because it's almost never bad to see this, and it's amazing. So after that, you get a clear image of the deck on screen while we go over matchups. Matchups are pretty in favor of this deck in general. You go so even with Alphamon that I feel like is truly just a coin flip. It's just whoever draws better in the Alphamon matchup and hope to not get blown out by their security. The only option you are really scared of in their security is Congo, and a lot of people are going to be running less of it now because Yellow Hybrid's getting hit on the ban list, even though it is still a great card that you should be running. So other than that, you're not scared of any options. The only thing you're really scared of is seeing an Alphamon or another big DP Digimon early in the game, and then your stack gets blown out, but you should hopefully have protection by then. So it really just comes down to who draws better. These decks are almost equally matched in power. I just think Alphamon has a bit more consistency compared to this, so it gets the edge. After that, you have a good matchup into Weregarurumon X because you can just rush them down and have less pieces to OTK than Weregarurumon. Grandest Kuwagamon, same story. You have way less pieces to worry about and you can be a bit more aggressive earlier, so you have a pretty favored matchup into it by just rushing it down. Armors is one of your harder matchups because that Magnemon X is really hard to get over sometimes because you can now you cannot swing with your Weregarurumon promo. You have to waste time and resources balancing it now. You have to climb up to your MetalGarurumon X to hope to bounce it, which wastes the swings you would have gotten otherwise if it wasn't on the field, just going into your Weregarurumon promo and then your X Antibody version. So it is a little rough there because yeah, you could just bounce it, but you could basically literally not swing at all until you're able to bounce it at the level 5 or lower level, which is where your OTK potential comes from. And these guys do not need nearly as much setup as other X Antibody decks. So while you're doing that, armors can really rush you down. So that is one of the tougher matchups for it. X Antibody option does give you an extra swing, but if you are just not seeing it, you cannot afford to lose momentum. So just go ahead and start pushing out and swing if it comes down to it. The really big decisions to make with this deck is being able to know when to go ahead and push out, even if you're not seeing a single piece, and knowing how important that is to the strategy versus waiting for it. But that is going to be the deck profile. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you thought of it, what you would like to see next. Let me know what you think of this format, and if you want more of it going forward. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, remember to stay hungry until you get a taste of victory.